Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to fire up our text editors and treat technical English not as some giant, impossible barrier, but as a completely learnable stack of skills. If you're an IT engineer working on a global team, you already know exactly how to debug code, configure servers, and optimize complex systems, right? Well, today, we're going to apply that exact same logic to how you communicate. Your code is good. Your English is losing you the job. Ouch, that's a pretty brutal truth pulled straight from the dev community, but I want to reframe it for you right now. When you freeze up in a system design discussion, it is absolutely not because you lack engineering talent or technical knowledge. You have the answer. You're just missing a specific communication framework. And that is exactly what we're going to debug together today. We're going to treat this as a systems upgrade. Think of this as our sprint backlog for today. The gap, debugging pronunciation, upgrading tickets, incident vocab, refactoring docs, and future-proofing. Let's get compiling.
Model 1. The tech communication gap.
Look, I really want to validate your frustration here. Being fluent enough to order a coffee or navigate an airport does not give you the highly specific vocabulary needed to explain a distributed caching strategy when the pressure is on. Standard English courses just don't teach you how to diplomatically push back on a bad architectural decision or how to survive a complex code review. That is the relevancy gap. And bridging it means we have to treat technical English as a distinct, specialized skill. Moving on to Module 2, debugging your pronunciation. We've mapped out a documentation matrix of common English as a second language pitfalls, complete with the exact International Phonetic Alphabet annotations for high-frequency IT terms. Honestly, these are the linguistic bugs that trip up even the most senior engineers. But by isolating them, we can compile them perfectly into your daily speech. Let's run a test on our first term, cache. It's derived from the French word meaning to hide, but the pronunciation is a super simple, single-syllable word rhyming with cache. A really common trap for non-native speakers is pronouncing it as the two-syllable cache. So when you're discussing memory optimization, you just want to say cache. Next up is a classic Unix term. You look at it and it seems like it should be pronounced daemon, right? But the process that runs your Unix backgrounds is actually pronounced exactly like the word daemon. Just say daemon process and you are perfectly aligned with the industry standard. I know, it feels totally counterintuitive to how it's spelled, but hey, that's English for you. And here's an absolutely critical one for database architecture, schema. Notice the phonetics here. Transitioning from the S to the hard K sound takes some precise muscular coordination. A lot of professionals fall into the trap of using a soft sh and saying schema. Remember the hard K, schema. Squashing these subtle little bugs instantly elevates your perceived fluency among your peers. Section 3, upgrading your support tickets. Let's refactor some actual support code side by side. Our before state is super blunt. No, we don't do that. Grammatically, sure, it's correct. Pragmatically, it's terrible. The after state refactors this to, that's outside what we officially support, but here's what I'd try. Replacing a cold rejection with a polite out-of-scope template protects your relationship with the user while firmly maintaining your technical boundaries. What about when you make a mistake? Because we all make them. Embracing a blameless rhetoric means we can own our errors like professionals. The before reads, I was wrong, don't listen to my last email. The after refactors that into, please disregard my previous message, I apologize for the confusion, and have provided updated steps. Notice how that aftertext maintains your authority, you acknowledge the error smoothly, and immediately pivot to the solution. It's a total game changer. And when you hit a complete wall and a problem persists, just run this standard operating procedure for escalation. First, acknowledge their patience. Second, note that a deeper technical review is needed. Third, officially escalate to the development team. And fourth, state that they will determine if it requires a code fix. This workflow gives the tech team a clean handoff, sets expectations, and ensures you never sound panicked.
Section 4, incident management vocabulary.
Standardized ITIL acronyms like AST, BCM, or CAB act as shared global variables across your entire organization. When everyone uses the exact same terminology, whether you're talking to a level 1 support agent or the CIO, everybody understands the state of the service. It completely eliminates ambiguity and takes the emotion out of incident management when things are on fire. So for example, instead of vaguely asking, how long is it going to take to fix, integrate ITIL standard terms like MTRS, mean time to restore service,
Using this specific phrasing proves your industry depth and instantly aligns you peer-to-peer with other senior engineers and management.
Or take the word hotfix. Saying hotfix instead of just we'll do a quick fix signals to your team that you understand the deployment pipeline, the urgency of the patch, and its origin as a customer-reported issue. Precision in your vocabulary builds immense trust.
Section 5. Refactoring your technical writing.
Just like formatting Markdown in a GitHub README file, your writing needs structural hierarchy. We call this the audience-centric approach. You want to use the active voice, stick to plain language, implement a clear visual hierarchy, and use the inverted pyramid. That means you prioritize the solution at the very top. Don't make users read a novel to find the fix. Give them the answer first, then provide the context.
Let's look at another refactoring example, passive voice. Data is backed up every hour by the system. It's just clunky. Switch it to the active voice. The system automatically backs up data every hour. See, it makes the system's actions clearer, the sentence is shorter, and crucially for global teams, it is much easier to translate. Clear, active verbs drive great documentation.
And remember, your writing should never live in an isolated silo. The industry is rapidly moving towards docs as code. This means writing your documentation in Markdown, storing it in Git, and integrating it directly into your CI/CD pipelines. Treating documentation as code means it updates right alongside the software. You get a reliable, single source of truth for both developers and users. Finally, Section 6, future-proofing your career. The cost of not communicating clearly is absolutely brutal in the enterprise world. Research actually shows that linguistic friction and miscommunication can cause a 10 to 15% increase in the cost of poor quality for a business. By mastering these communication frameworks, you aren't just speaking better English, you're actively protecting your company's margins, preventing incident escalation, and reducing costly errors. Upgrading your communication stack bridges the gap from being an isolated coder to becoming a highly influential technical leader. The industry is shifting. We don't just need mere technicians anymore. We need knowledge orchestrators, people who can build complex systems and eloquently explain them. So take a look at your current stack. Are you just writing code, or are you ready to lead the conversation? What part of your communication will you refactor first?